It's a question of honesty and integrity. It's not a question whether qualification and marital status is important for the introduction of a particular individual. What is more important is the level of honesty, integrity the masses check and evaluate when anybody is evaluating the personality of an individual. Now, let me make my point very clear. If you apply for a particular job and suppose the requirement of the post is graduation and you give in your affidavit to that organization that you are a PhD, and on the basis of that you get that job, and after say 3-4 years the organization finds out that the degree that you said and claimed that you don't have, then as to what is going to happen to your employment with that organization, your services will be terminated and your case will be referred to police, not because the requirement of the post was graduation and you are a graduate, but because you falsely claimed that you are a PhD, and the organization, believing that you are a PhD, gave you a preference and the job was given to you. So it's a case of perjury, it's a case of misinformation. This is a case of claiming to the organization on false affidavit, and you will be punished for that. So the point I'm trying to make is that suppose for a politician, suppose the politician qualification is not required by the Election Commission of India, and you don't have to be a graduate or a postgraduate to fight the election in India, but in your affidavit, because the affidavit given to the Election Commission is equivalent to your giving a affidavit to the court, and if you give a false affidavit to a court, then you will be punished for that, and a case of perjury will be claimed on you, and you will get hardest punishment for that. There is a provision of the punishment in CRPC and IPC if you give a false affidavit to the court, and perjury is a serious crime. So it's not a question, because when I discuss in public and masses, they claim that because the politician's qualification is not a requirement, so if somebody has claimed in his affidavit or her affidavit that he or she is a graduate or a postgraduate, that's not a serious crime. Because if the qualification is not required, is not asked for, then you should have very clearly mentioned in your affidavit that you give to the Election Commission that I am illiterate, or say I am a graduate, or I am a postgraduate, or I am not literate. So because claiming something falsely is a crime, and the person has to be punished for that. So I would recommend and I would request the Government of India and the Lok Sabha Speaker, Rajya Sabha Speaker, and all the speakers of all the assemblies of the country to kindly check and get checked the authenticity of the degrees that these elected representatives have claimed in their affidavit given to the Election Commission. And this should be done within a period of 3 months. A thorough inquiry should be made, and any politician for that matter, whether he belongs to the ruling party or the opposition party, if it is found that he claimed and he gave a false affidavit to the election commission that he is not having that qualification which he claimed in his affidavit, should be jailed. Because the same punishment what is given to the normal individual, a normal person who gets a job on the basis of the affidavit that he gives to the organization and claiming his or her qualification, educational qualification, is punished the same way, because law is equal to all, whether the person is a politician or whether is a bureaucrat or is a normal common citizen. If a wrong affidavit is given, and because election commission has equivalent powers, that of judiciary, they have judicial powers, and that is why giving a false affidavit is a serious crime. The other point I'm trying to make is that it's your individual choice. You may like to marry, you may not like to marry. You can get a divorce from the court, from your partner. That is legal. I don't have any right to interfere on that. But the law of the land has to be followed, should be obeyed, it should be respected. If you are married, claim in the affidavit that you are married and keep your wife with you or husband with you. If you claim that you have left your husband and wife, get a legal divorce from the court. Because if you are married and you are not keeping your husband or wife with you, it's a question of creating disharmony in the society and a mental agony caused to the other party. And I should recommend to the honorable courts and Supreme Court of India that they should take cognizance of this particular fact, suo motu cognizance of this particular fact, and take affidavit from all individuals, all politicians and everybody, elected representative whom we have voted on a pre-assumption that whatever they have claimed and got our vote is genuine. If it is found that the whatever information they claimed was not genuine, was not right, then they should be punished, and we have a right to ask for punishment for them. Because if without getting a legal divorce, if you leave your husband or wife, it's a cruelty. In my assessment, my understanding, it's a cruelty, and we should be punished, and which is punished. So what I am trying to make, my point is very clear. It's not a question of the requirement of qualification or marital status in a particular election or a job. Maybe, might be, but it's a question of your honesty and integrity on the basis of which we vote for you, or we select you, or we elect you. So because so many organizations, when they recruit a person, they have the criteria to understand your personality, as to what your personality is. Whether you tell the truth, you have the courage to say the truth, or you are a habitual offender. So if you are misguiding your selectors or your electors on the basis of false information and false affidavit, then you are defrauding the organization or the masses who are voting for you. So it's a question of honesty and integrity, and if you have given a false affidavit, then you should be punished. As the normal, because we read in so many newspapers and the news that we get from different sources, that people have claimed that they are doctors and they got the job on the basis of false claim that they are graduates or postgraduates, and later, or say they said that they belong to the SC/ST caste, and after it is found, or it was found that they do not belong to SC or ST category, their election was declared invalid, void. Similarly, anybody who has claimed wrongly or falsely and misguided the voters, the same punishment should be given to that particular person, because then justice will prevail. The same law will prevail to the politicians, the bureaucrats, and the common man, and everybody, because law should not discriminate between who are big, who are powerful, and who are not, who are weak, and who are ordinary citizens. So my submission is that anybody who is claiming and giving a false affidavit to the election commission that he is a postgraduate, and later it is found that it was a false affidavit, then he should be punished, or she should be punished under the provisions of IPC and CRPC. And anybody who is concealing the marital status should also be punished in the same way. This was my submission, because honesty, integrity is most important, which is required in every citizen of the country and every citizen of the world. Thank you.